Yep, that's what's gonna happen. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hey, we back. We here another week. I think it's week 12,
Ooh.
and uh, and I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited every week. So I don't think that is anything new to
You're
the audience.
supposed to be excited every week. This is
Yeah,
our baby. We're watching the little baby grow.
yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like, so each I think show we're trying to make sure that we're providing insight and information so that individuals can elevate in their life. And we know elevate in life is in their love of self, in their interactions with others, in their focus and in their energy, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so if you guys, before we start, I'm just going to ask that you, one, excuse my voice. um I think I'm coming down with a spiritual flu. You ever heard of
Ooh, I
you ever
like
heard of a
that.
spiritual flu? uh
Me too.
huh?
No, what is a spiritual flu?
So a spiritual flu is when you start to shift your life, change your life, and you start to purge. And so it's the same symptoms as like you feel like you're under a flu, but it's not that. It's actually your body like detoxing from either old behaviors or old stuff. And so every time I feel this way, and I know that I've really been working, you know, in areas of my life, I know I'm like, oh, girl, you coming down with a spiritual flu. You must be growing.
Look, man, I don't know if that's scientific or made up, but I love it because you just described exactly what I've been going through like this whole week.
Okay, it's a
And
spiritual flu. And here's the thing, that's why words have power, because it's actually a thing. You can Google it.
okay,
Um,
boom.
yeah, I think that we don't realize that the body is healing itself as we start to shift and change and things like that. And so my voice is a little raspy because I'm coming out with the spiritual flu. I'm getting over it. But I got a request from you guys. So before we do our introductions, I just want you guys to know that you can follow us, on our new YouTube channel. And if you're watching us on YouTube, woohoo,
Ooh.
so subscribe and then like, comment, and share, because I know we're going to have a great conversation. But before going to that conversation, let's do our introduction. So, who are you, ma'am?
Who am I? That's a very deep question. As I go
Right.
through my spiritual flu. I'm Danielle McCarthy of DCDR Solutions, small business entrepreneurship coach. You used the word recently, business strategist. I like that. I'm gonna look into that. But
Mm-hmm.
before I start tagging that on, but
Ain't nothing
I
wrong with it.
help budding entrepreneurs and people that are looking to transfer from the side hustle to a real business to make sure that they understand everything that they're getting into. Um, Teaching them, we address mindset and blockages and things of that nature, and then how to stabilize the business that they do want to pursue to make sure that it does not fail in that 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year window.
Look at you. Look at you. Okay. And who am I?
Who are you?
Right. I'm Miss Sheila Little. I am the owner and operator of Shaping Solutions, a nonprofit. And what we do there, Miss Danielle, well, one, I feel like, and I had a PR person come and she told me this, that I am a friend and expert leader in the field of changing lives. And
Ooh.
I loved it when she said that, because I think ultimately that's what I do. But at Shaping Solutions, we really focus on consulting people on the problems that they have in their personal life or in their relationships or in their business. We do some coaching around the mindset. And then because I've been a therapist for 20 years, I use some therapeutic techniques to really help heal some areas that may be stopping them or blocking them from moving forward. I am a PhD candidate right now in business psychology. And yeah, that's who I am. So before we go into our topic, oh, let's go into our topic. Our topic today is improve yourself. So
Everybody
this
trying
is
to do that.
week 1, right? November, and this is the first week in November. And as a strategy, we talk about goal setting in that first week, goal getters in that first week. And so this conversation is all around goals, right? So, how to be a goal getter.
Mm-hmm.
And, we do goals, Miss Danielle, for a particular purpose. Why do people set goals?
Gotta gotta have something to shoot for. You gotta have something that's gonna bring the best out of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question, actually.
So here and guess what? You said that's a good question. Like, man, that made me think.
It did.
Right? Yeah. And I think that's the power of this conversation because a lot of times we throw this word goal around so much,
Yes, we do.
and it's like, oh, well, what's the goal, or what you need the goal for? And so many people don't have clarity around what they want. I mean, they're very clear about what they don't want, but when
Mm-hmm.
we start talking about goals, individuals don't really either know what goals to set for themselves, um, don't know the difference between the goals they're setting for themselves, and then three, don't know how to truly sustain the consistency that's required in being a goal getter, right? And so
Yes.
this show today is a goal getter. Improve your life, right? And what
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about with you today is truly the areas in our life that truly can help us improve our life. But before we do that, let's have our mindful moment. I want to like a drum roll, like,
We
right?
gotta get a soundboard.
Yeah,
That's that
you
next
did.
level stuff.
Yeah,
We gonna
yeah,
get there. We gonna get
yeah,
there.
yeah. So a mindful moment is just let's just take it in. I mean, it's the end of the day. We're probably going in part D of our life, if you like me, and so let's bring it together and just kind of take a deep breath in and then let's breathe it out and just kind of be present. So we can take this information in. Hey, get your notebooks out. If you see there's a link that you can put in, because, as a gift for this show, I want you guys to do this self-care appraisal that we've attached to that. A big part of that is to help you identify where you need goals at, right? And so this appraisal is like a range between 1 and 4, and where are you? And I think that sometimes we can't really make goals for our future because we don't really know where we're at in these particular areas. And so this self-care assessment, I got it off of therapy.com. um, it really helps you to say, okay, in this area, where am I at, and then is this something I need to address? Okay, so the quote of the day.
Quote of the day.
What is the quote of the day?
Start in the beginning with the end in mind.
Yeah, I think the quote actually says um, something about the end in mind, but I extended it. But we've all heard this, right? Start in the beginning with the ending in mind. So, Miss Danielle, when I meet with clients and I'm like, okay, so why are you here? Tell me a little bit about yourself and why you're here. You know, the first thing they're like, I'm unmotivated, I'm just tired of going through the same things, I'm don't feel like my life has purpose, and I'm just feeling down, and I'm like, okay. And so as we started talking, it's like, yeah, and I've done this and I've done that, and this has happened to me and this has happened to me. And every time it just come up in my spirit, it's like, okay, so what do you want? Right? What do you want? Right? So we've had a whole 30-minute conversation about the things you don't want. Let's kind of close this off with what do you want?
Yeah.
And that is the most inspiring 15 to 30-minute conversation. And a lot of these individuals have never
Never.
had a conversation about what do you want. Is that amazing?
It is. And you know what came up in my spirit was it's funny because I just realized how much I say that to people,
Mm-hmm.
uh, mainly my mom, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of other people where it's like, what's the goal?
Mm-hmm.
What is the goal here? I used to say it a lot in my professional career when when people would get lost in conversation, and it's like, hold on, just what are we trying to accomplish?
Mm-hmm.
Because people get so lost. And then you are correct. The minute you say that, then it's like boom, 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 boom. And it's we just wasted 30 minutes to get
Mm-hmm.
to a point of being productive. But yeah, a lot of people don't do that.
Right. So, I mean, if your people like boom, 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 you working with some more advanced people than me. Because then when I say, what do
Well,
you
yeah, these
want?
like managers where it's like
Yeah.
the plant's about to fall down and you
Yeah.
better figure it out. So
Yeah. Because when I ask people what they want, Miss Danielle, it's like, you know,
yeah, you get crickets. I've had
I've
those
never
in
thought about that.
non-professional settings.
Yeah, I've never thought about that. Great question. So that's the
Great.
question I'm gonna pose to the audience. What do you want? And here's the thing. We're gonna talk about 10 things. Try to get through this in an hour. 10 things, right? That you need to be thinking about. 10 areas that you need to be thinking about what you want in these areas of your life. And the reason why it's so important to think about these areas is because I think that even when people make goals, Miss Danielle, we make them so we're addressing, what did they say? It's kind of like putting a band-aid on
Yeah,
a,
you're addressing the symptoms, not the root
not
cause
the
of the
root
problem.
cause of
Yeah,
the
not the
real
disease.
issues,
Yeah.
and so if we're looking to have a whole life, right? WHOLE, and
Mm-hmm.
not a hole in our life, and HOLE, then we have to make sure that we're addressing our life as a whole, right?
Yeah.
And so we need to be making sure that we are looking at these 10 areas, and we have a plan, right? And so today's topic, again, improve your life. And that's our first question. Before we go into that, I want to talk about the difference between an end goal and a means goal. Okay. Because we talk about goals all day. But the G end goal is this: end goal, means goal. So starting in the beginning with the ending in mind. So our goals actually should be orientated around, what am I doing this for?
Yes.
What is my why? What is that thing I want to do? And I think when we first talked about goals, I gave the whole weight loss, thing.
Yeah.
Like, well, I want to lose 20 pounds. So I just told you I met with, a nutritionalist on Monday because I was feeling like I was kind of getting a little heavy. I was getting that little gruff on me. And it's funny because, like, in our community, it's like, girl, you thick. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you
You
know,
know,
and,
that's a whole nother conversation.
and I'm like, yeah, but, the thicker than a snicker ain't working for Miss Shiela Little because I'm 43. And if I'm gaining a pound a year, then yeah, I need to kind of
You're
get
on the
some of this
wrong
weight
track.
off of me,
Yes.
right? And so, but I wanted to lose 20 pounds. And it's like, I just didn't want to lose 20 pounds to look fine,
Yeah.
right? Because I feel like I'm already there. Um, but it was more about what I would be able to do in a fit body, right?
Yeah.
So I want to be able to walk and travel and breathe and be healthy and all of these things. And I knew that reducing my weight would help, my blood sugar, my, all of these things. And I don't have those issues, but I know that the greater my weight gets, the more the greater the probability of me
Yeah. You
having these
increase
health
the
conditions.
likelihood
Yes.
of something bad happening.
Yes. And so I went and got a nutritionalist. She put me on this diet, on this lifestyle plan. And it is a long term type of plan, right? So to eventually get the weight off and to build these habits. But, you know, the end goal, right, was
Mm-hmm.
to live a healthier and happier, to be better in my health so I can live a healthier life, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way I'm doing that, which would be the means, is
Yes.
by getting a nutritionalist, doing these meal kind of plans.
Committing to the habits,
Yes,
staying
working out 3 times a
consistent.
week, So these are the means in which I'm going to lose the 20 pounds. But the 20 pounds is not my why,
No.
right? The end goal is my why. And so when we're looking at these areas, they're more end goal areas that you need to think about in your life, because when you start to think about the end goal, it's back to that picture again, of, hey, what do you want that to look like? Or, hey, what do you want? So I give this analogy. People don't want the life they live. That's like the house you living in. You want to go move. The life you live in right now is not what you desire or what you feel like you deserve. Or the relationship that you in, it's not what you desire, what you deserve. And so you want to change that. So you want to go build a house. That's why I say. So you want to go build a new house. And it steps to that, right? So you have to,
Lots of steps.
go find a land, right? And then when you go find a land, now you got to know what kind of house you want to build. Is it a 2-story house? Does this house have a basement? How many bedrooms are in this house? How many bathrooms? How big is your closet? Right? All of these things, right? And then you got to go get an architect to draw up that blueprint. And to me, the architect is like your therapist and your coach, right? To help you really do this blueprint. And then you go get your builders. And to
Mm-hmm.
me, the builders are now your relationships, right? So you know that you want this house, and now you go get a builder to build this career that you want, or, person, right? Or a type of team to help you build that career or that
Mm-hmm.
business. You go look for a spouse, and they're helping you to build this love relationship that you want. You're working with your family, and you're communicating your expectations and your boundaries so that you can build the type of life you want with your family,
Mm-hmm.
for the end goal, right? In these areas. So the first area, what do you think the first area, Miss Danielle? One, what do you think about that analogy? Because I know you love
I
analogies.
love that analogy. Actually, I was sitting there like, "Ooh, that's a good one." I love a good analogy because I think, yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, anybody that's ever built, I've never built a house from scratch, but there's so much. The end goal is the house, but because I went as far as electricians and contractors and painting and layouts, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's so many micro stops along the way.
Right.
Those are the
But
means
so is
to
the end
accomplish.
goal in that the house or a home for your family?
Depends on the person. So yes, if you want this house just to build a house and to sell it, then it's the house. But if you're doing it for your family so you can have a safe space, then yes, that is.
Yeah. And then when we start thinking about that, it's like, I want to build a home that my kids can come back to and the grandkids can come back to. And like
Yeah.
my family can come over for the holidays. So I need the kitchen big enough so me and my parents can, and my aunties can like cook in it. So I'm talking about for real for me. So my
Yeah, I was
aunties
about
can
to say
come
you getting
over.
real personal here.
Yeah, and cook in it, and and so when we have parties, there's enough space for people to kind of be scattered out in the house, and everybody doesn't feel all clumped. I want the back clumped together. I want the backyard to be like really nice and big with like a pavilion back there, so like we can barbecue. So yeah, so when I think about a home, right? It's not just about building a space, it's about building this place that I'm going to make experiences. That's the end goal. So now when I go to the architect, I'm really passionate
Yeah.
about this mean, which you are one of the means for me, right? The architect. Or
Yeah.
when I go to my coach or I go to my therapist, I'm like, listen, I want healthy relationships with my family because we got to cook in the kitchen on Thursday. I mean, on Thanksgiving or on Christmas or, for family reunions. And I want that time to be good and pleasant. So help me to be able to forgive. Help me to be able to, let things go, to love or whatever. Heal me because I know that a rising tide lifts all boats. And if I can heal my stuff, then I can elevate the room and my family and we can have a good time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
And you're
You
making
said
me feel some kind of way for not having that goal on my list.
well,
'Cause,
this is why this show is here because I think
yes,
that when we go over these areas, Miss Danielle, you're gonna see like, wow, yeah. Okay, so the
but
first,
it also speaks to everybody's version is different, and
yeah,
that's why I like the compare and contrast as a reminder that your goals are your
your goals.
goals. You still
Hmm.
need a solid end goal, but your end goal is your end goal.
Yeah. Now, where did I learn this at? It just didn't poof in my head. I actually, I don't know if you've heard of this guy. His name is Brandon Burchard, and he's a high performance coach,
All
like
right.
one of the high, like a high
Highfalutin.
perform. No, I was going to say expensive. High performer
Highfalutin.
coach. Yeah. And so, he does this high performance model, right? And
Okay.
and I did it with that. And then it was also this other coach that I had, and it was a virtual. This was more of a virtual. Brandon Bouchard was 1-on-1, but this other individual, they wrote the life book, and
Okay.
it also went over these areas. But the way they looked at it was so interesting, and I was so intrigued by it that I like literally I have a life book now.
Mm.
um
Oh,
right,
okay.
and it has really helped to shape how I and people are like, well, why are you doing what you're doing? I know my why. So the first area, if you're a goal getter and you want to improve your life, the first end goal that you should have addressed is, do you know what it is, Miss Diane? What you think?
I don't know. Now you got me guessing. Look,
Health.
oh, I was gonna say it too. Ooh, I should have said it. It's all good. I feel
Your
better now.
health, right? So there
I,
should be a statement
yes.
around the type of health you want. So the first thing, I'm gonna put these up, and what I want you guys to do is rate yourself from a 1 to 10. Okay.
Ooh, test time.
So in each one of these areas, I want you to rate yourself from a 1 to a 10, right? And this is important because from 1 to 10, this is important. And I'm just gonna have this scroll across the bottom. Oh no, that's not how I wanted that to do.
Engineer Sheila on the ones and
I
twos.
know,
We in it.
I know. It's just I want us to scroll across the bottom. Okay, so I want you to rate yourself from a 1 to 10 in each one of these areas, because it's important to know where am
Where
I,
you at? Yep.
in this area. So once I find out, if I say, okay, in my health, you know, when I first did this, I felt like I was an 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really going to either convict you and be like, oh, I need to do something about this, right? Or it's going to give you a sense of pride, like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'm really doing good. And it's 10 of these. So if you rate yourself from 1 to 10, that means that your score at the end, right, should be between 0 and 100%. And you know how you do tests, right?
Yep.
So take your number and divide it. So we'll talk about that. But health. So a statement of health, right? So the statement of health here is, I regularly take care of myself so that I can feel my best. I want I want my overall physical and emotional well-being to be primed and optimized to make me feel energetic and strong every day. This is
Every
my
day.
goal every day. Every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like a woo, but that's the end goal. That is when I look at my health, that is the kind of life that I want around that area, right? And then I rate myself. And now, oh, I'm about an 8 there, right? So what else
Okay.
do I need to do to kind of get myself up? And this is where then we can start making micro goals. Like, oh, let me see
Mm-hmm.
a nutritionist. I had the trainer that I was working with who I think he fired me.
What?
Yeah, I think he fired me.
You
Um,
stop going.
he said he told me to get a membership at Planet Fitness.
Oh, he said you need the beginners program.
Yeah, he's a high impact, great trainer, right? And he typically works with a lot of athletes. And I was just coming in as an athlete's mom, and I'm like, I ain't trying to lift that. I'm just trying to get strong.
He said I need you to go that way.
But I think you need a membership at Planet Fitness, ma'am. But here's the thing: I worked with him about 10 months, and I got stronger. Like, it was a workout regimen that I used to do. And that used to take me like 45 to 50 minutes. I got down to like 15 minutes and started to do it. I can like lift 25. I could do 25 push-ups and sit-ups and all of that. So it was amazing, working out with him. But that goal was getting me closer to my overall physical health. Okay. So rate yourself from 1 to 10 in this area, health, and then make a statement around what do you want your health to look like. Okay. The second thing, we'll talk about health. So now we got to talk about mental and emotional.
Yes.
So
Everybody.
many of us know that we don't want to break down, but we don't have an idea of what we want our mental and emotional state to be, right? I think men do because they always talk about some. I want you to be my peace. I guess they want you to be their peace, but
They don't even know what they mean half the time when they say that. We ain't gonna go
I
down
need
that
you. I
road.
need you to be my peace, right?
Say that for tomorrow's podcast.
Right. Well, my daddy, right. So here's the thing: I keep a positive outlook and attitude. I cultivate a sense of joy and purpose in my life so that I can experience positive emotions in relationships. This is my end goal for my emotions and my mental health. How did I get there? Now, that's the end. The means, I have a coach. I have a therapist. I meditate every day. I try to stay active in my life. I learned how to effectively communicate. I learned emotional intelligence, right? So all of these other small things were the the means to get to this end, right? To ultimately get that number that I put to a 10.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
What would you put yourself at mental emotional?
Um, Look, at this very moment, I'm
You said at this very moment. Hey, wait. I ain't gonna even say the screen froze on you because it musta didn't want to know what your answer was to that, Miss Danielle. You gonna come back? Yo, she done froze the screen on this one. Okay, so we're gonna go and hopefully she come back. The third place that we want to rate. Yeah, you totally froze,
yeah,
ma'am.
I don't know what happened, but I
You
was
know what
ready to
happened?
give my number. I think somebody might have heard it.
You
Right
know
now,
what?
I'm a 6 at that right now because I'm positive, but unfortunately, there are things that are draining me, and I need to figure out how to deal with those things that
Mm-hmm,
are draining me. And
mm-hmm.
so that I
Yeah.
need to set some means goals
Mm-hmm.
to get my energy back.
To get your energy back. So overall, what I heard you say that in your mental emotional state, your statement, your end goal statement is that you want to have positive interactions with others and meaningful relationships. Right now, you're a 6 in that. So it's some work that needs to be done before you
Yes,
get
because
there.
I'm sending it out, but I'm not getting it back. So I got to figure out how to get more back because
Yeah.
I'm a testament to sending it out. But
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, sometimes when you're the sender, you're not always the receiver. So,
Mm-hmm. So you got to have a revolving door. Yeah. So here's the thing about that too. Now we say we use therapeutic techniques, and I'm not gonna put you in a chair, make you the client, but
hey, I'm up for it.
but here's the thing. So I think that this is a lot of people's thing, right? I give off so much positive energy, I give off so much, love, and I just feel like I don't give it back, right? And here's the big thing about that, Miss Danielle. A lot of it is we have to see what our intentions are
Yes.
when we're doing that. And a part of that behavior is because we've been trained, right? Be nice, be kind, be respectful. You know what I mean? Respect your elders, treat people how you want to be treated. And so that's a coin one for me. Treat people how you want to be treated. So that means I ain't gonna treat you better than me and I ain't gonna treat you less than me, right? That means I'm
Yeah.
gonna treat you how I treat me. So I need to learn how to treat me away. So now I can now treat you in the
Hmm.
way that I treat me. Because if you, at some point in my life, if you wanted me to treat you like say treat other people how you want to be treated, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like I didn't really, I knew I wanted to be treated nice, but I didn't know what that looked like,
Yeah,
right?
because it's all about the boundaries discussion everybody talks about because it's
Yeah.
like you're either the boundaries have gotten blurred or You never established the boundaries, so now you got to go, build a wall in the middle of an ocean
Right.
of just
Right.
everything. So, yeah.
Right. And so when we start talking about the intention under it, this is where we start to look at people pleasing behavior. Like, am I doing this so you can like me? Am I doing this because I want you to see me a certain way? Right. And so
Hmm.
a lot of times we're not getting it back because our intention has a hook on it. It's like
Yeah.
a bait. Does that make sense? Like,
Hmm.
I want affirming from you. And we don't consciously know that when we're doing it. Right. But then when we're not getting that back, we have to go in and say, okay, what is my intention under this? Am I doing this because this is authentically how I want to respond? Or am I doing this because this is how I was taught to respond? Or am I doing this because I really do want something back? So I'm kind to you because I want you to be kind to me. Right. In
Hmm.
life, and I always say this, like, you don't get back from where you give at. And it's a
Hmm.
saying around that too. So sometimes the people you kind to ain't gonna be the people that's gonna be kind back to you.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And sometimes we can skew how the world is responding to us in kindness because the people that we want to be kind to us is not kind to us. But if we looked, we could see that, oh man, the world is showing me a lot of kindness. Like the lady at the, Starbucks brought my drink today, or the random person was like, gave me a compliment. So the universe or God is being kind to me. I'm just not seeing it because the people who I want to be kind to me is not. And it could skew
That
what we're
part.
feeling like we're getting back from
Yep.
life. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense.
Okay. That was just a little therapeutic moment. All right. So, number 3, partners. So we want to have an end goal around our health, an end statement, or a why. We want to have an end goal around our mental and emotional self, right? And then we want to have an end goal around our partner in love. And if you're single, you want to have a statement around that. Okay.
Yes, that I was waiting for you to say it. If you single,
Yeah. So if you're single, when I was single, mine was like, I live every day through my heart and demonstrate compassion and love for others. Right? So that was my end goal. So when I was dating, I still was heart filled in my dates. Like, it wasn't very restrictive. I'm still dating now. I'm not restrictive at all. Actually, it's like, it's the only moment I got. You think I'm gonna give you enough power in this moment to make me show up less than the woman that God created me to be? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I'ma do me.
And hopefully you do you.
You do you.
you know. And so I refuse to date and be less of myself, or in some way not live fully from my heart because I'm trying to ask by you. Well, let me see what he finna say, or let me see how he finna act before and it's like, no, I'm gonna show up. And I remember one time, just real short, I was with this on a date with this guy, and he was like, I just feel like I can't believe that I'm actually on this date with you. Like, man, like, you're Shiela Little. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I mean, do you know how many people want to be sitting here with you? And I was just like, what we're going to do is we're going to stop having that conversation. And what
What?
we're going to tap into to you is your divineness, right? Because you are a person too. You know what I mean? And it's not about because I always get this, like, you should be with a governor, or you should be with the president, you should be with, people always trying to put me with
People
men in
always want to project.
put me in these situations. And I'm like, and all that may be true, but I'm here with you now,
Yeah.
and there's an authority that God has given you. So we can't have this conversation about your allness or whatever. And it just flipped that conversation around just like that. Like, and see, that is why I love you, girl. Like,
Yeah.
not love you like
Yeah, yeah. But that's
in love
why
with
that's
you.
why we that's why I'm here. That's why I
Yeah,
wanted
that's
you
why
to
I,
know
that's why I appreciate you. And a part of that is because I live my life through my heart and demonstrate compassion and love for others. Like I wasn't jaded by that. I wasn't by that. It was just like, let me remind you of who you are too.
Yes.
You know, and you don't have to be a PhD or a therapist or none of those things. You could just be the man that God created you to be. And I'm sure he is a divine, great man. So let me see him. Will he show up? You know. And after that, I think that mug at the end of that day, like went to kiss me, and the kiss was like this. It was like,
When you say, oh
wait,
man, I
hold
already
on.
knew it didn't go right because you don't know how many situations I've been in, and as soon as they start doing that, I said, "Oh, okay, this is a wrap. It's a
I'm
wrap.
like,
You're
wait, hold
idolizing
on.
me.
Yeah,
I can't do
yeah.
the idol thing.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
not
like, what? No, actually, after I said that, we had a good time. But at the end, I think we had such a good time that he felt like it should have ended in a kiss, and I was just like, no,
read the room, buddy.
yeah, that's not gonna happen. But I do feel like that's because as a single woman, I live each day through my heart and demonstrate compassion and love for others. And my means, in my that's my end goal. In the means that I get there is again through therapy, through having compassion, through self-care practices, through being gentle with my own self, which allows me to be gentle to others, like these other little small goals. So if you have issues making goals, right? I mean, get your notes and just start writing some of the stuff I'm saying down, right? Because I think that it can start to cultivate what that looks
Yes,
like for you.
gives you a
Now,
starting point.
in relationships, I do have one for that one too, though. Right?
Haha. I got a good number for this one.
This is a good one. I feel a consistent, deep, trusting, appreciative, soulful, loving connection with my significant other.
Ooh,
Ooh, let's sit in
robust.
that one.
That is
Huh?
a robust sentence.
I feel a consistently deep, trusting, appreciative, soulful, loving connection with my significant other. Praise Jesus. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And
Look,
the church said, Amen.
church say amen.
Now rate yourself from 1 to 10. Like,
I got an 8 on that one. I'm good there.
yeah. So I mean, but honestly though, right? Because isn't that what we all want, right?
Yeah.
This type of relationship, and so we rate it. And then if you're not where you want to be, then that's when you know you need to, create some different things. So partner in love, family. Oh look, that came up. Yeah.
Look, I got the family screaming in the back right now.
As soon as I said it, the kids like, yeah, mama. Okay, so family, this is big, and I think that when we start making goals, then yeah, we don't think about this area. The next three areas, I don't think that we really think about as goal getters, right? We
Okay.
think about health, that's easy, think about finances, which is on here, but which is really lower, a lot lower. We think about career, but we don't think about what's the goal for my family. What is that
Yes.
in place that when I'm either creating a family, having my kids, or a part of a family with my siblings, what is that? You know? And then who do I need to be to do that, to get
Yeah.
there? What do you think, Miss Danielle?
I think it's deep because it's something that I didn't start looking introspectively until maybe like this year. I
Mm-hmm.
had started because, mind you, I moved 700 miles away from my family.
Mm-hmm.
And, my family was me and my boys. And then it
Mm-hmm.
slowly, I moved some people down here, but then my family is still 700 miles away.
Yeah.
But that's not an excuse not to interact with them, to stay in touch with them. And I had to start realizing there's still all these ways to build bridges because it's exactly what you said. What do you want? And for me, one of the things I wanted was I want us to know who we are because we kind of come from this jumbled mess of people that really don't know where they came from and all this other stuff and just long story. But
Right.
I want this generation to start doing it differently. And
Right.
so in order to do that, you have to be the bridge. You have to be, what you want to see done. So it's like,
Right.
okay, let me start. I want to be the family that does family reunions because we don't do that.
Yeah.
And so how do you start there? That was my end goal.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
get to annual big family reunions that are actually fun and
Mm-hmm.
people enjoy that don't cause drama.
Mm-hmm. Now, I would challenge and say that that's the means go. Because why do you want those? Why do you want the big
Yes,
family reunion to?
because we never had. I feel like
Mm-hmm,
it'll be functional. I don't.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's like a lot of emotions wrapped around it, but I think it's just. I feel like that's what families are supposed
What's
to.
to do? Right.
Yeah,
Right. To stay connected, to
functional
not.
families.
And so, and here's the
There
thing.
you go. I want a functional family
Yeah.
because
Yeah, and to be functional, that means we have to relate. And to be able to relate, that means that we have to, communicate and connect on some level, right? And so doing this family reunion is to help with the functionality of the family because at least I'm seeing you once a year. We're keeping up with each other,
and look, I saw it as an end goal because we got a lot of stuff to repair just to get to one. So
So what I hear you saying is the end goal is the family reunion, and then how you gonna get there is
that yeah,
okay, okay,
we got multi-layered end goals.
yeah. So here's the thing, family. I'm present with my family. Okay. I am deeply connected and fun and positive energy with my family members that I keep in contact with. It is evident that I love my family and I am doing the best for them. I try to forgive their mistakes and be compassionate with them. Okay. Um, this is an end goal that's really big for a lot of people because our family hurt us the most. When I did my who hurt you list, family.
Buddy,
It's just family. Line.
big, just write it across
Right? So this is above, this is close to. So if you notice, it's like self, right? Like those,
hierarchy.
yeah, it's hierarchy, right? And then my significant other, which is my support, and then an
Yes,
extension of me. So now we started to extend from ourselves, and that family still is like that first extension from you. And it's so healthy to have an end goal statement. Um, and then how do you get there to heal those wounds? Because that's still your blood,
yes,
you know. And I ain't saying that everything they do is all right, but we do got to come to a point where we can heal, some things in our family. And if you rate your family, where are you, and I'm gonna ask the audience, where are you from 1 to 10 when it comes to family?
I put a
In your
6.
in your interactions. And based off of this interaction, right? I am present with my family. I am creating deep connection and fun and positive energy with my family members that I keep in contact with. It's evident I love my family and I'm doing my best for them. I try to forgive their mistakes and be compassionate with them. Where are you at? And if that was your end goal statement,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's like, girl. Now, here's the thing. So we had a big family reunion last May in Myrtle Beach, and then we just got the call this year, like, hey, we doing it again. So I talked to my cousin today, and I'm like, man, isn't that amazing that we have come to a point where we can rally together? Now, this is just my grandmother's kids, and then
Okay.
then her siblings' kids came. So we had a good like 50, 60 people there, but it was so amazing just to see all of us together and having fun on the beach. It was really nice. This was my grandmother, appreciation day for her. Now, we talked about family. The next one is friends. Where are you in your friendships? Now, I'm gonna close the book on this one. We 43 minutes in, but I really want to talk about this friend thing because I think as women, we don't understand the importance of friends. We have isolated ourselves so much from other women. And honestly, it's because of that family thing. Sometimes it's really because we have a lot of mother issues and sister sibling issues. You know,
Guilty.
I think it was a book. One of my clients said that she's reading it that said, I'm glad my mother died or something like that. And it's like a bestseller now. And it's about a lady who's talking about the death of her mother and how, her mother was abusive and, and these things. And so I think one conversation that definitely we need to have on this show is that mother daughter dynamic and how it scarred a lot of us women and how that has affected our friendships with other women. And I find that sometimes women can be way more loyal to males or their mates than they are to their friends. And like if your mate did something like lied or cheated or stole or whatever, it's like you could take them back. But as soon as your friend lie or do something, it's like you cut her off. Like she has no space to make mistakes.
And you know what came up for me when you say friends is this is a conversation I have with my husband every now and then, is knowing who your friends are.
This is important.
That is big
This is
because
important.
you'll have those imposters that sneak in and
Mm-hmm.
you sitting there calling them friends, because I used to use just a very raw base model for him was, can you ask them the same thing they're asking you?
Mm-hmm.
And that's very basic and rudimentary, but there's, I think that's something that I would definitely want to highlight for this is just make
Mm-hmm.
sure when you're rating these are your friends, not
Mm-hmm.
your associates, not your random people. No,
Mm-hmm.
people who you
Yeah.
call
And I
friends.
think that's a good point because how do you define friendship?
Yeah.
Right. I remember I graduated with my master's degree, so I had like a celebration party. And in that, I gave out these steps to my friends, right? So, and on the back of it was like, thank you. And it was like five of them. But I
Right.
invited way more than
Yeah.
five friends. So as I'm giving them out, a young lady that I was her friend, but she wasn't my friend. And
Ooh, that's a big
so
one.
she came later on and she told me, like, my feelings is hurt. Like, why didn't I get a necklace? And I was like, oh, you know, because I am your friend, right?
Yeah.
But you're not my friend, right? It's you're not the person that I feel like I can go to, confide in, right? I mean, one, your lifestyle don't permit it, right? At that time.
Yeah.
I love you though,
Yeah.
and I'm grateful that you entrust, things with me and things like that. But I gave these out to my friends. Now, mind you, those necklaces that I gave out to my friends may not have felt that that they're my friends. So they may have had like, oh yeah, Sheila is I'm her friend, but she's not my friend. So some of
Yeah.
those people probably didn't confide in me the way I confided in them or did not support me.
Yeah.
And so some friendships are just equitable like that, you
Yeah.
know.
And that's okay.
Yes, yes. But I remember getting told, like, I just can't believe that you would do that. And I just
Can't
feel
make
so
everybody happy.
bad because but I did. I explained to her, but I love you and all of that, but I wouldn't consider you a friend. And, in my friend group, and if anybody know us, we know we're a group of friends. But even within our friendship dynamic,
Yeah.
we have friendships that are waged
Closer.
differently. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So we have people who are closer, people who talk more frequently, people who don't talk at all, right? But we are a group of women that are a group of friends, and each friend has a different dynamic within that group of
Yeah.
friends, if that makes sense. Yeah.
And
So
I
we ain't
love that
on.
when people can acknowledge that and accept that, because that was how our friends group was when I was in college, where it was like we were all together, but A and B were closer, but B and C also had a different thing, and C and D, and it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay.
So friends, my immediate social circle of friends bring connection, fun, and positive energy into my life. Hmm? I seek out positive people and I do my very best to bring positive energy and real authenticity into my friendships. I spend enough time with my friends. Can you rate yourself from a 1 to 10 on that?
You want my
Right.
answer?
Yeah. You can say, you want my answer? Do you want to give it?
Yes. It was just that second one that was I think I'm an 8 on that one. I've been putting more conscious effort into rekindling. I've rediscovered the importance of having an inner circle and
Mm-hmm.
having those people that, like you said, and each person that I consider a friend kind of serves a different purpose, and I've just kind of been realigning with
Mm-hmm.
all of them. Like, this is my, I talk about music and movies to this person. I talk
Mm-hmm.
about random jokes and pop culture to this person, and they all, and I make sure I
Yeah.
engage with them.
Yeah.
Thanks to social, that's literally
Yeah.
probably the only thing I use social media for.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's important to have a group of friends, especially in the type of environment that we're in, especially in the times that we're in. It's just good to be able to have friends, you know, that accept you for who you are. But mind you, if you're asking your friend to accept you for the woman you are, then you got to be able to accept your friend for the woman that she is. I mean,
That
you see
part.
what I'm saying? That's how that go, right?
That's
If
how
you
that goes.
want some fidelity and trust, you want somebody to trust you and to keep your best interest, even when you said something hurtful, then you need to be able to extend that and charge some things to their head and not their heart. You know what I mean? And so we have to be a little bit more forgiving. I said that I probably was going to do a best friends camp or something, to
Yeah.
bring friends in that probably haven't talked in a long time. And I think a lot of women have that friend that they've let go and it's really hurting them, and they probably want that relationship back, but they probably need to go to therapy.
And that's funny because that was one of the things that I did this year, was like two very close childhood friends where just time and life has
Mm-hmm.
separated us, but we still, I mean, it's the reason why it's after family. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people that you go through so much with, you can't deny that, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to overlook all the stupid little petty stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mission. That's number 6.
Okay, this is a new take on this mission.
This is a
Like purpose,
new take. Mission. I
mission.
feel clear, energized, and fulfilled by my work and contribution to the world. I believe my work and my day's effort adds real value and a true reflection of my best efforts and contribution.
That's deep.
I am truly engaged and excited by what I do. It feels like a mission, a calling, or a purpose.
That's deep. Got my face scrunched up. Over here trying to rate that bad boy.
You say, now here's where people get stuck because I think people want this, right? But they don't know how to get this, right? How do I find my purpose? What is my purpose? And that's why that first part is there, because it's like I feel clear, energized, and fulfilled about my work and contribution to the world. So your mission is really what you want to contribute to the world. And I think that sometimes, and your purpose is what you want to contribute to the world. And I think that sometimes people get this mixed up because they're looking for the what they're going to get back. And it's true, like, no, what do you have to
No,
offer? What's
this
the
what do you
thing
want
you
to
can
give?
give, and give and give and give and give, and it doesn't deplete you. It actually gives you energy. Like this podcast, this is my contribution to the world, right? This is a space where I feel like, you can keep me on here for 2 hours to talk, and I won't feel drained. It actually does something to me to offer this insight. All right. So rate yourself on your mission. Now, if this is a 1 or below 5, listen, I'm going to tell you what to do. Contact one
Hit
of
us
us,
up,
right? If any of these are under a 5, right?
please.
Contact one of us, because, or a coach or a therapist, because that means that you need some insight and
Yes.
some healing, and maybe just a third party to really look at your life in a different way. Okay. Number 7, experiences. When we start thinking about goals, most people don't think about this experience. What kind of experiences do I have? I tell people this, and my friend Starla is good at this too. I pay for an experience. Like, I don't have, a lot of handbags
Baby.
that cost a lot of money, and I ain't the one that got a closet full of shoes that cost a lot of money. But you know what I got tucked under me? Some old expensive experiences. You see what I'm saying? That I was willing to pay that price, like some old Beyonce.
You said what?
Like some old Beyonce. You know,
Yeah,
I went to this Oprah. Oprah had like this. Remember, she did that like little tour thing or
yeah.
whatever. I went there. We had like VIP, the VIP experience with her. And I took a friend with me, gifted her with that. Um, but I will pay for an experience.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I think that when we start thinking about life, this is one of the categories that we don't carve out to say, okay, I'm working hard 40 hours, 60 hours, 80 hours to experience what? And a lot of times we're not experiencing anything because we ain't carving a space out for it.
Yeah.
We don't have an end space to create the experience. So it seems like, oh, it's so much to try to set up travel or, do these things that I wanted to take the kids to Disney World or Disneyland, but I just ain't had time for it, right?
Yeah.
You know? And we really do have to carve this out. And this experience statement is I plan special experiences, trips, adventures, night outs, time to connect and disconnect so that I can enjoy my life. I give enough time to the things I love in life, including my hobbies, my interests, and non work goals and adventures. So, golfing,
Non-work goals.
non work goals and adventures, golfing. My brother has a boat. We go fishing. That's his little thing he experienced. So, one day I went fishing with him. Baby, bye. he I was like, we just gonna sit out here all day. He's yes, we're one with. And then y'all can't get off the boat. We out in the water, middle of the
Yup,
you
you
know what?
stuck. Stuck like Chuck.
So I just started putting my feet in the water. Like, okay, let me act like I'm somewhere in like somewhere on the front
You
of the
on a
boat.
yacht.
Cause yeah,
Imagining
give
I'm
me
on
the
a yacht,
where the
not
music
on
at?
Lake
Well, you
Michigan.
can't play the music too loud, Sheila, because you'll okay. Give me my headphones. I'll put these headphones in, and I'm gonna have me a yacht experience out here on this beautiful lake with these houses sitting up here. But he carves that out. That is an experience that he know he's gonna have from the spring till about this time of the year. And that's his non-work time. And I mean, he invested money, he bought the boat, he got the truck and everything, right? What are we doing, or what even goals do we have around our experiences? So from a 1 to 10 audience, where are you at in experiences? Are you creating them? Do you even have space to create this? And if you don't, you need to get a coach. I should have said that after each one of these,
If they ain't got it
right?
by now, hopefully they can get it. And I
Yeah.
think I got to piggyback on the hobby thing. The hobby thing is so big. It's
Mm-hmm.
so big. It feeds into so many different avenues of goal setting and confidence building and everything. I'm an avid jigsaw puzzler. I just got back.
Mm.
I know, super boring, but I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's exactly what you said. It's about the experience. It's almost like meditative to me, and I just enjoy doing that. And especially if it's a really nice picture, and that's important to me. So it's like I make time so I can do my puzzle. So it doesn't always have to be some massive. I want to go to
Yes.
Bali or something
Yeah.
like that. Like it can
Even though
just
I
be
want to
some
go to
small.
Bali.
I want to go to Bora Bora. That's on my bucket.
Yeah. So it's like, do we have these as goals, and then how are we doing that, right?
Yes.
And now let's rate ourselves from 1 to 10. All right. So under mission, I forgot to put career. So we said that like purpose and things like that, but
Oh,
making
okay.
sure that you're aligned in your career. And I want to say that.
Yes.
So we went from health, emotion, person, partner, family, friends, and then we went more like now this is external, like what I'm experiencing in the world, my career, my experiences. Now, you would have thought that this would have been higher.
That's where it needs to be.
Yeah, it's definitely where it needs to be, and not that it has nothing to do with God being first in our life, but I think that a lot of times it's like, what are you believing God for?
What are you believing in? Whatever you believe for.
Yeah,
What is your
yeah.
intention?
Yeah, what are you believing in the universe for? What are you believing in this higher power for, right? Because it has to be a purpose in that too,
Yeah.
right? And I think that when we can start being clear about, our health, our, mental, our partners, our family, our friends, our career, and our experiences, I think that it can bring that relationship that you have with whatever your source of power is. I think it makes that relationship a little bit more firm. for
Mm-hmm.
you, you know? And then you could take that relationship in every aspect of your life.
Yes.
Okay. So spirit, I feel connected and present to the moment and vitally alive in my spirit. I am congruent with my beliefs and behaviors, and I keep my faith and values at the forefront of my decisions and daily actions.
Nice.
That ain't had nothing to do with God
Nope. Because it has to do with your spirit.
because it has to do with your spirit, right? Your spiritual self and this unseen force of energy, right, that we have, right? So I feel connected and present to the moment and virtually alive in my spirit. I'm congruent, which means in alignment, right? So what I say, my beliefs, what I believe in is what I'm doing. That's congruency. And a lot of us don't have congruency in our life. We say one thing and do another thing. We believe one thing and express another thing. All right. 1 to 10. Finances. Now, we ain't talked
Ooh.
about money yet, but we're going to talk about money
We
now.
got to talk about money.
This is big. Now, why is the relationship with money so far down? Because society has made our relationship with money so far up. And really, money is a resource, finances. And remember, this is finances, so it's just not money. It's like making that meeting with, having that meeting with Leverage, with Johnny Leverage. It's about talking to people about your credit. It's about, seeing where you want to invest, how you want to invest, right? So we're not just talking about money as a single entity or dollar. We're talking about finances in general, the
Yes.
whole my financial portfolio and how I look at money and how I experience money. And I think that we have a one-dimensional relationship with money, dollars and cents or debit cards and EBTs, you know. And there's so much more
So much.
um,
So
that is
much.
involved in our finances. So I am being responsible in how I spend money. I am saving money for my future. I am learning the necessary skills to develop my ability to earn even more money. I am happy with my lifestyle, and allow myself to enjoy what I built and earned. You see that? I am happy with my lifestyle. This is
That part.
one I should have put finances lifestyle because in the life book there is a particular area on what lifestyle do you want to live, and maybe I'll do that next month. So I'm doing the high performance model this month. Next month I'm gonna do the life book because it actually goes into these a little different.
Okay.
But lifestyle is different than finance, but you need your finances to support your lifestyle.
It's a circle.
Yes.
Kind of chases each other.
So when I tell people to do this exercise about this future place, I'm like, what is your lifestyle you want to live? So I had a conversation with my brother, and I'm like, ever since my brother was younger, he liked the finer things.
Okay.
And I'm like, what kind of lifestyle do you want? Like, cause I know you don't want to just drive around a regular car all the time. Like, I think he want to pull up in the old 2022, he was like, yeah, I want a Corvette and I want a truck and I want to, but this is my older brother. And I'm like, right. And if you don't live that lifestyle that you want, you're going to feel like life stole something from you.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. I mean, this is something that I actually, when I'm working with people, I talk about that as a part of wanting a business where it's like, it goes back to what kind of life do you want to live? Because
Mm-hmm.
that'll be reflected on how small or big you want to grow your business. But that is
Mm-hmm.
huge. And acknowledging the acknowledgement part of it is huge too. Because, like, for me, I'm not flashy. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not. And that's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know plenty of people that are flashy, but that's their
I ain't
lifestyle.
flashy, but I still want that old. Ooh, what's the name of that truck that I want?
I like
Always.
subtle bougie stuff.
What is the truck I want? It's the G
I want
wagon.
a navigator personally. I want a
I
big
want to look. I
decked
want to.
out navigator.
Yeah, the G wagon. That's my
Oh,
truck.
you want the G wagon?
Oh yeah, and I'm like looking at that 6 figure, you know, baby. Like, okay,
Couple
you
$100
know,
oil change, bad boys.
Yeah, you know,
five
and
hundred dollar tires.
or updated Range Rover. Like I drive a Range Rover now, so I get an updated Range Rover. But my ideal car is a G wagon, and I know so. But that's a part of my lifestyle. And like again, there's certain things that I want. Like I want a house on a lake, right, to go up to because I like water. That's
Yeah,
a part of the lifestyle that I want to build for myself. So when I start thinking about, okay, Sheila, you want a G wagon. You want to like now this ain't I ain't talking about no big bougie purses, but what if that is what you want? What if you
yes,
want
if
the
that's
the,
what you
the
want.
newest um bags and the all of this? Or
The
what if you
red
want to
bottoms
travel the
and all of that
world,
stuff.
right? What if you want to travel the world?
Yes, that's
Right.
another
What if
good
that's
one.
the lifestyle you want? You want to what do they call that?
Mm,
Uh
I ain't wanna, okay.
Surfing? What
Who?
do they call it when you jet setting? Like when
Oh,
you
jet
want to
setting. Oh, okay.
kind of just travel,
Hmm.
right? That's a lifestyle.
That
And people
is.
have made lifestyles out of that, right? So when you start thinking about what lifestyle I want to live, this is going to tell you what type of careers you need to go into or how you want to change your passion. You know what I mean? How much you want to charge for what you're charging, how much you want to invest into, yourself so that you can be able to now get that back out of life. And here's why this is so important. Because if you don't, you're going to feel like life cheated you. Now, I have friends, my sister, she's very modest. She like, yeah, I don't need all of that. Like, you can do all that. Just give me this, give me
Yeah.
that, and give me this. Like, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even when I wanted to build a business, like I feel like in my core group, I was the only person like I want to build like a 6, 7, 8 figure business.
Yeah.
And it was like, you doing too? Why you just can't be happy as a therapist? But that wasn't in me.
That wasn't in me.
But a part of my mission in building that 7 figure business was because I wanted to create a space though for individuals who I employ to
Yeah.
have, work life balance, to have leadership that was, equipping them and training them, right? So it wasn't just I want 7 figures for Sheila. I want 7 figures so I can create a company that,
Yes.
the people I hire in, they feel like a team similar to Vision,
Yeah.
from what is it, Mind Valley. You
Hmm.
you know about Mind Valley?
I'm aware of it. I haven't done all the stuff though, but I'm
Okay.
aware of it.
Yeah, so
Great
Vision,
space.
he created this, whole big space. I think it's in Australia, but I mean, where he do these courses and classes, and I want to create that for, you know, the Black diaspora.
The us's.
Yeah. Um, and so I know that I need to generate a lot of resources. So that's going to require me to extract or invest a lot in myself. If
Yeah.
it's through my degree, if it's making sure that I got quality employees, if it's refining my process over and over again, it's finding out how to mainstream my money, right? Because a part of my mission is to be able to create that, not just for the people that I serve, but for my employees are also the people that I service too. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
And going back to what I always harp, everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah.
different. If you
Yeah.
don't want a business, that's okay.
Yeah. Or if you want to work, because here's the thing, I want work. I like people who like to work, right? I'm the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I'm okay with me being an entrepreneur. You can work for me, especially if you're a
Yes.
hard worker, you consistent, you down for the mission and the calling of the
Yes.
company, you showing
I
up
want to
every day,
create
you
an
bringing your gift,
environment that gets you to work for my company for 30 years and not
and
complain or
not
feel
feel, yeah,
cheated or
yeah,
feel
yeah,
shorted.
feel
Yes.
cheated and feel like, man, Sheila, I'm glad you exist because you made a home for me, and because I like to work. You made it possible for me to buy a house or pay for my kids' college, or you know what I mean? So you use your gift, and because you set yourself apart and use your gift, now I'm able to actualize my gift in this container that is
That
helping
part.
me now to be a great mother, a great father, you know what I mean? To my
Mm.
kids and grandkids and experience the life that I want to live, right? I'm just saying. That was good. Okay. And
I
remember,
like
finances. This is also under, again, rate yourself in your finances 1 to 10. And remember that we have a money story, right? And
it.
so a
Yes.
lot of us don't have the finances that we want and desire because we have a narrative under that. If you're having issues around your finances, again, contact me at I Am Shaping Solutions or Miss Danielle at DCDR solutions so that, that can be addressed.
Yes.
Now, I said 10, so we had the 9.
Ooh. Continuous improvement.
Hey, you got to be learning.
Got to.
You got to have a space set out in your life, an end goal around learning, a statement around learning, a why you're learning. So I am curious and pay attention to the world around me so that I can learn new things. I ask questions, I seek and to discover new things about myself and others. I have this one is a personalized curriculum for myself so that I can develop the skills I need. And basically, that's just what I want to learn in my life, right? Where are you at in learning? So many of us haven't picked up a book, haven't watched a podcast fully, haven't taken notes, haven't expanded our life or awareness in umpteen years.
I didn't understand. And it shows. Ain't nobody talking to you, Siri.
She said, I don't understand that. I don't understand it either.
I don't understand it either. Look, I can go look. I need a Danielle rant podcast. Because
you can put it on
in
our
a
network.
world where you have a computer at your fingertips, it blows my mind how many people just.
But and again, I think when it comes to goal setting, people are not thinking in these 10 categories, right? People are not thinking about, oh, I need goals around learning, right?
Yep.
And I ain't saying like a degree. I'm saying
No.
just learning how to
Learn.
bake better or cook. That's my next thing. I can cook, but I want to take like some cooking classes or something like that. Like, so you can learn the different areas. Eventually, I want to learn how to play the piano and Spanish. Those are two things I want to, an instrument. Piano would be the preferred instrument. And a piano. I mean, the instrument in a Spanish, right? Or a second language, you know?
I know. I got a Spanish goal too. Thanks. Shout out to Duolingo.
Yeah. So these are the areas in our life when we start thinking about what is an end goal and a means goal. An end goal is the why. It's the blueprint. It's the reason why I'm doing this thing, right? And then we need to have end goals in our health, in our mental and emotional selves, in our partners, in our love. What is the end? What are you doing this for? In our family, with our friends. Why do we have friendships? In our mission, in our career, in our experiences, in our spiritual life, in our finances, and in our learning. And if you struggle with having end goals in any of those areas, again, I'm going to say, you know, um, you can get at me at I Am Shaping Solutions or Miss Danielle at DCDR Solutions. Because remember, the title of this podcast is How to Elevate in Life. And your love of self, your interactions with others, your focus, and your energy. And it's just so important, Miss Danielle, that we make a space for these areas. So I'm gonna go over these again because I want you guys to write them down and rate yourself and your health 1 through 10. And your mental emotional, where are you at? 1 through 10. And your partners or love life, single or in a relationship, where are you at? 1 through 10. And your family, where are you at? 1 through 10. With your friendships, where are you at? 1 through 10. Mission and career, where are you at? 1 through 10. And your experiences, where are you at? 1 through 10. In your spiritual life, where are you at? 1 through 10. And in your finances, where are you? 1 through 10. And in your learning, where are you at? 1 through 10. If you scored a 10 in all of that, man, you should have a 100% full life.
You need to be a coach. You need to
Right.
start. You need to be
Right.
helping others.
But I'm just gonna do it like school, like 7. If you got 70, that's a C average. Do
Yeah,
you
I
want
got
a
to
C
see.
average life?
I'm averaging a C right now.
Yeah. 80, that's a B. you know, 90, that's an A. Anything in the 90s. 60s, that's a D. Anything under 50, you failing right now,
You
right?
fail.
And even if these is areas that you never thought about, right? So it's a 1 because I never even thought about a mission. It's a 1 because I never even thought about learning. It's a 1 because I never even thought about friends or anything like that. So I haven't even cultivated that space. All of those are skewing your score, and you need to think about these areas. And if the spaces in these places that you need to heal, then you need to go get help so that you can have the conversation and really start to work through each one of these areas in your life. You guys remember that comments and responses are welcome. So as you watch this show, you feel free to, leave a comment. Again, I would like you to comment, like, and share.
Mm-hmm.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel,
YouTube.
right? So you can get the notifications about when we come on. And don't forget to join our 30-day Manifest the Life You Want challenge. I think we have about 30 people that has registered for that challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Again, follow and subscribe. And here's the thing: today's quote of the day: starting in the beginning with the end in mind. And if this is your first time ever hearing this, like when I did the life book class, that guy said that like only 3% of like the world has truly, even millionaires have not really thought their life through
Yeah.
in these categories in an integral way and then went in and designed it. So my life book is that we went through each one of those areas, and there is a kind of a statement of what I want. There's a strategy because in the life book you got to go through all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But it really has helped me one to be patient, and even in my darkest times, I know that I'm pointing in the right direction, and as long as I put one foot in the other, in front of the other, I know that I'm gonna get to you know the woman I'm becoming. Actually, I feel her every day, like in my skin, in my spirit, in my soul. So
After you get
it,
through this spiritual flu.
yeah, yeah. And when I'm upgrading, baby, that spiritual flu is like, yeah,
But don't
I'm
kill you,
feeling a
make you
little
strong.
scratchy throat. Yeah. Okay. Any feedback? Anything you wanted to say about this? I know that I didn't spring it on you, but I know that this is new information from you. So as a person that's just receiving it, what are you thinking?
So it's funny because this is actually something that I do with people I work with. I call them personal KPIs. So,
Mm-hmm.
when working with a business owner, teaching them about key performance indicators, and I always start with you have to make sure you're right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually something I recommend people reevaluate every month, if not more frequently, to track your progress
Mm-hmm.
because it's fluid. Things change.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a good month. Your mental and emotional health may be rocking out, but then you may have a bad month. This needs to be monitored. So even if it's just as simple as going back and just rating it,
Mm-hmm.
if you just want to start there and just monitor your ratings, and then you can start to really incorporate, because I use the, like, if you're in the 5 to 8,
Mm-hmm.
you need to be doing this. If you're at an 8 to 10, you set certain goals. So
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because I have a very similar thing that I do, so
Yeah.
I'm very
It's
aligned with everything.
yeah. Oh, and I didn't give y'all my score. I mean, Miss Danielle share her stuff with y'all, but I didn't
Yeah,
share mine.
I got a 74.
Um, when I first did this, which was 4 years ago, I was a 78,
Okay.
and now I am a 10, 19, 29.
She got big
What's that?
numbers.
38,
Oh, shout out to you trying to
48,
do that in your head.
58,
The PhD
60,
talk.
60, 67, 76, 86. I'm about a, I'm gonna give that one a 9. 86. So 85, and I would say a 94. Because I would give myself, and I would even go a 93 because I got picked up some weight. So in my health, I give myself a 7. So I'm gonna go like a 93.
She over here killing the game. And that's why
Yeah.
she's here to help. Don't worry about my number. I'm just having a bad month.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But that is something. Every quarter I get out and I
Yeah.
readjust my goals. This has been a tough year. Now I do want to ask the audience to lift the prayer for my sister. We just kind of, are dealing with some stuff that's going on with her, but just transitioning, with the business and everything. So life is fluid, and I say, and I was talking to my cousin about this earlier. it's not about the ups and downs that happen in life. It's about how anchored you are in
Yeah.
your emotional management. As so when life goes up, you don't go too high. You guys will hear me say this all the time. And when life fall down, you don't fall as low.
Yes.
It's about you kind of staying modest. And
Maintaining
I
that
think
balance.
once I hit like a 90, it was definitely anchoring me in, no matter what my finances are looking like, I'm okay. No matter what my health is looking like I'm okay. Like there's this sense of, yep, and this too shall pass, you know, because I'm always thinking, starting even my day off with the end in mind. How do I want to go to sleep tonight? When I
Yeah.
lay down, I definitely want to be grateful. So how I handle the situation right now is going to determine when I lay my head down how I feel. Now I'm doing that 7 days a week, a good
I was
five.
just about to say the real rock stars evaluate this every day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I ain't evaluating that every day, but I am evaluating my life every day in the sense of how do I want my life to be, right?
Yeah.
So I thank you guys. I hope that you guys got something out of this. And like I said, as a gift, there is a link in the description for a self-care assessment. In that self-care assessment, all these areas aren't in there, but the areas that are in there are places where I feel like if you assess that, I think it's give yourself a 1 through a 4. When you assess those areas, you can start to make goals around the lower, those lower numbers, right? And that's kind of why I wanted to give you guys that sample. I thank you guys for being present. I love you guys for being here. Remember that, you know, you can start today, right? And if you can shape it in your mind, you can have it in your life.
Amen.
I'm Miss Sheila,
And I'm Danielle.
and we are here. We are here. We are here. You remember that came off of Horton Hears a Who? We are here. We are
Oh
here.
yes,
We are
we're
here.
here.
We are
We're
here. Yeah.
here.
Um, yeah, we're here to help you and assist you. So you can contact us. Make sure you go subscribe to that Facebook page. Join our
Yes.
affirmation challenge, and then also download that link. That's our gift to you, and we'll be putting out more gifts like that for you because we really want you to elevate. We're coming at the end of 2022, so we definitely want you to have a clear definition as you end this
Roll
year,
into
so you
the
can
new year
start
strong.
off next year with a bang. At least start
Yes.
putting the things in place that you want to work on. Okay.
Amen.
Talk to you guys later.